All right, guys. So we caught back on new tornado warning now, just coming out for folks in Sabine County, as well as it looks like South and Eastern Shelby County. That's the same storm. It seems to have gotten itself a little bit more organized, and that's going to be what prompts us to kind of hop back in here for a few minutes. Warning goes to 4 o'clock. So we're at 3:15 almost right now. So let's get back onto the radar and see what we have shaking here. Weather Service is looking at this area of rotation, which is going to be right in there. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit east of due north from Geneva, right there along Highway 87 is going to be my best estimate on the area that they're most focused on. And so this storm moving north and east at about 40 miles an hour. So that's going to take it up and out of eventually St. Augustine County and into that southern part of Shelby County, kind of southeastern Shelby County. So here's where we are. We're extreme northern Sabine County, right there, really along the Sabine-St. Augustine, just east of the Sabine-St. Augustine County line. So St. Augustine is not included in this, but the storm itself continues moving northeast, and that's going to cross, again, a lot of rural sections of Sabine County. There's the Sexton community again, Highway 87, kind of crosses from northwest to southeast in that area down to I think it's Isla. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So, but that is what we're working with right now on that. And this particular storm looks at least this particular variation on this storm looks a little bit better on the radar than it did here just a little bit ago, and making out kind of that weaker, that donut little signature in there along 87. Again, this will be east of St. Augustine. St. Augustine County not in the warning itself proper, but that northern Sabine and southeastern Shelby County both are. So this is what went ahead and prompted the Weather Service to hop back on a tornado warning after letting one go here just a couple minutes ago. So we'll watch that here. Let's put a loop of the radar into play, and you can kind of make out the general direction on all that. And this seems to be the hottest storm, at least on the scope, on the Texas side of the border. Weather Service is working a couple of warnings today, and that affect their Louisiana parishes. But as far as Texas is concerned, and East Texas proper, this seems to be where the best lightning is at, and the most impressive rainfall potential will be up in this area as well, compared to its neighbors to the north, which are producing some decent lightning in there. But the overall presentation on the storm is not nearly as impressive as what we've got down south and into the deep East Texas counties. Again, Sabine County was just recently added to the tornado watch box. They were initially left out of it, but in light of what's happened over this past hour or so, Shreveport and SPC brought them into the mix on that, and so they'll be in line with the rest of us for the tornado watch, which will stay in play until 9 o'clock tonight. Stephanie asking, will there be more storms later on, or is that all of it? Well, I think looking at the sky outside, I'm seeing some pretty decent blue sky out there right now, Stephanie. So I think we will have some decent heating take place here for the next hour or hour and a half. We don't have a ton of time left this time of year as far as heating goes. By 5 o'clock, we've done a lot of what we're going to do on that, but we will. I think the atmosphere will benefit some from the heating that takes place this afternoon, and that should help to kind of help with the formation, I think, of what will be some other storms as we get into the early evening hours tonight. I don't know that the coverage is going to be as impressive as it would have been otherwise, had we not had these showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. But I can tell you the temperature has come back up here at the house, and we're up close to 71 here now. We were down in the 60s back during the closer to the top of the hour. So the heating is doing what it does, and the sunshine is doing what it does, I should say. And so the heating is resulting in that. But as far as additional storms this afternoon, I would say we're going to be kind of doing that wait and see game for a bit. This area is out to the west of us, though, DFW Metroplex, that have not yet seen much of anything as far as showers and storms go today. I think they will end up being in a little bit better environment. They have not really been tapped into at all. And you can make out what looks like some showers that are trying to get going out towards the DFW Metroplex now. You can kind of see that what looks like a little line there from near Dallas back up to near Sherman. So that stuff is moving. It doesn't look like ground clutter, but and a few things trying to pop there over Denton County as well. So we'll watch that. This area out here, though, again, untapped, hasn't had to deal with any showers and thunderstorms today, and so their atmosphere is going to be even more primed, I would think, than ours is here, having dealt with some of these storms here over the past hour or so. So we'll get back on the radar. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's get into this Fort Polk radar real fast and see what that shows us. So we've got this thing north of Highway 21, well north of 21 now in Sabine County. So this is going to say north of Milam. Let's see here. Weather Service says they're still keeping an eye on these two areas of rotation that you can see, the two tornado-warned storms that we see there on the screen. One's weaker over northern Sabine and crossing into southeastern Shelby County. So I think they're more concerned about this storm that's off to the north and east over in Louisiana, as compared to the one here over northern Sabine County, which is good for us, not so good for the folks over to the east. But this thing doesn't look quite as impressive. At least it wasn't looking quite as impressive. That's a pretty decent wind. It's a pretty decent rotation in there now, though, near East Hamilton. I'll say that. I'm going to look at that on another source here real fast. So we're looking at this area right in here. So here's Highway 87. This will be north of 87. And so Weather Service is going to cancel the warning for Sabine County. They're doing that now. Which makes sense. You're looking at this area of rotation here now outside of Sabine County. So they'll keep that Shelby County, that southeastern Shelby County pocket in there for another probably 20 minutes or so. see the polygon adjusted there. So we got Sabine County now clear. We'll keep Shelby County, extreme southeastern Shelby County. This will be north of East Hamilton. So southeast of Ragtown, east, a little bit north of due east of Alexander Store. So again, a lot of small communities down in here. This is going to stay east and southeast of Huxley. And still, have you got to see anything as far as a sighting or any kind of damage from this? Which is obviously great news. We're looking at this from the Fort Polk radar, which is going to give us a bit better vantage point, a little bit closer to this area than the Shreveport radar would be. And we want to be as close as we can with the radar, because the farther you get from the radar, the higher the beam goes. And obviously the concern is going to be down here closer to the ground, so we want that beam to be as close to the ground as we possibly can in an effort to really make out what's going on and what's, and more importantly, not going on, hopefully in this case here. But they'll keep that warning going officially until 4 o'clock. But this thing is going to be long gone by the time we get to 4 o'clock, for at least for Shelby County. So again, the polygon is, let's put this thing back into motion so you can see that. There it comes. You make that out right there. It kind of picks up, seems to kind of get its act together a little bit on that velocity product. But if it continues on that northeast move, it will not be a player, at least in our county. This is the Texas-Louisiana border right here. So there's the county line for Shelby County right here. So it is not far at all from getting over into Louisiana. Hey, thanks, Dean. Appreciate that. Dean's saying Dean's over near Forney. Said his garage floor is still pretty damp. Got windy and some dark skies out there, but no rainfall out to the west of us towards Forney. And as is the case most of the time, whatever's happening that way usually tends to, at least overall, head in our direction. So nothing really to be too worried about out west for the moment. But we're glad for Dean keeps me in line on what's going on out there on the Western Front. So thankful for that. But we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on this thing here for a second. Latest scan on radar doesn't look quite as impressive on the velocity product. Notice we kind of lost some of those that more lavender, purplish kind of shading there, so that's good. This thing may be trying to do a little cycling, but it still has some decent wind blowing in the storm regardless. So we're sitting at 329 almost, 328 and 45. Besides this, that is it on the radar as far as severe weather goes for East Texas. Here's a broader look at things. Still watching some pretty good thunderstorms or showers, I guess, probably better said, down towards northeastern Sabine or St. Augustine County, and also down into southwestern St. Augustine County, for that matter. Some rainfall back over Sam Rayburn. Nothing Lufkin, nothing Knack. Center, no. Timpson, no. Jacksonville, no. Although we will want to hop onto the Shreveport radar here in a second and see what is painting behind this that the Fort Polk radar might not be seeing. So let's take a look at that while we have a second. So yeah, still not too much happening, even on that further north radar. So we've got a lot of showers. Tinsley, nothing Malakoff right now, at least. Pretty quiet over there in Anderson County area, at least for the moment. Showers there north and east of Carthage, really just on the east side of Marshall. Not much lightning in there. Rainfall beginning to let up somewhat in Marion County out there east of Jefferson, the eastern half of Marion County. Storm Prediction Center had indicated that they were pretty likely going to issue a tornado watch back to the west of us, the west and northwest of us. You can see the counties that are in the current tornado watch. Those are the ones that are kind of have the yellow border around them. This is, in fact, tornado watch or severe weather watch box number 1 for the entire U.S. As we talked about, if you saw my updates from late last week or it was over the weekend, I can't remember when, Storm Prediction Center, like a lot of people, they will reset the counter on New Year's Day and reset everything back to zero as far as watches and what they call mesoscale discussions are concerned. So they'll issue hundreds of watches a year, but they will reset that counter back to zero on New Year's Day. So we are part of watch box number 1 for the continental U.S. This year. Strangely enough, we were also the first watch box of 2022 back during January of this last year. So we managed to get that honor, so to speak. It's not really a stat that most people keep tabs on, but those of us in the weather community kind of are aware of that kind of thing and take note of it. So we'll have watch box number 2 coming out. That'll probably clip. I wouldn't be surprised if they run Hopkins County and at least Rains County and maybe northern Van Zant County in that watch box a little bit later on this afternoon. That has yet to be issued. The meso discussion that was issued that spoke to that is kind of the precursor of the actual watch itself. It's more or less kind of a heads up to folks in the weather community that will have or not have something coming down the line in the form of a watch. Sometimes they issue what we call MDs just to let you know that we're not going to have anything coming down the line for the moment. But a lot of times they will issue those meso discussions to let you know that, hey, we're going to probably be doing something with a watch box in the next hour or two. And so that's a ability to kind of get people pre-positioned and whatnot for when those watches come out. Because when they come out, a lot of things kind of start to swing into motion as far as governmental bodies and things like that. So that's just another one of those things that SPC helps and kind of helps to keep everybody on the same page with that. So we are at 3:33. Gonna just watch this one tail end of this thing down in extreme eastern Shelby County. Get across the lake, and doesn't look as organized as it did just about 10 or so minutes ago. And again, here's the state line right here that just kind of meanders back and forth. So you got Louisiana here and then the Texas side here. So Folks in center probably getting a pretty good light show off to the east of you, or a lightning show. Pretty dark sky, I would bet. Same off to the south of center, looking off towards St. Augustine County. If you've got a high point, you can see anything. That is just about it. You're welcome. So the Weather Service is going to be, looks like they're going to be issuing a warning, tornado warning for this storm just south of Coshada. That will not be in our area of concern. And our guy is, for all intents and purposes, over the Texas-Louisiana line now. Going to make out what might be any rotation in there. It's pretty muddy. Nothing really. Nothing really showing up that's all that impressive at the moment, so we're liking that. So with that said, I think we're just about going to be ready to pull this off for the moment. And keep tabs on it here with posts as we need to for the rest of the day. Again, as we talked about, the tornado watch goes until 9 o'clock, and so the potential for severe weather is definitely not off the table. Even though we have had some breaks in the clouds and some sunshine here and there, it's like it's starting to try to cloud back up here in the at least in South Tyler. But for the moment, we'll end up with things being pretty quiet and await the arrival of what we've been talking about, which was going to be potentially a kind of a secondary batch of showers and thunderstorms that gets going around 5, 6 o'clock this evening, and then moves across the area from west to east along and just ahead of this little Pacific cold front that will be sweeping in and helping to kind of scoop some of this warm, moist air back up. Temp is still sitting at around 70 here in town. We got down into the 60s earlier when the rain started to really swing through. But and as it sits right now, we're still plenty moist and plenty warm, and with the dynamics that are in place already and a little bit of sunshine here and there, we're not completely out of the woods yet on severe weather. This stuff will be in and out of here, though, before or by midnight, and then we should be setting sail for a pretty quiet latter part of the work week, for that matter. So good news there for us. All right, we will step aside and talk more as we need to. Severe thunderstorm warnings, if they come out, we'll post individually for those and have some details for you on that. Tornado warnings come out, we try to come in and talk about it if at all possible. So again, thanks for being part of the page here. Always glad to get to interact with you guys, and we will be back as we need to throughout